And hello and welcome everyone to the Comic Multiverse episode number 106. Matt and I are coming to you here on a truly wonderful day. Matt, it's Canada Day.
I was just about to say Happy Canada Day.
Thank you. What do you know about Canada Day? Let's have a little game
It,
here. What are the Canada Day traditions?
I have no idea. It's a day in Canada that's called Canada Day.
Well, you see, we all come as a family and we sit around the Canada Day tree and we swap Canada Day stories, and then we have the Canada Day roast beast.
Roast beast.
Roast beef. I'm bullshitting. It's like any Independence Day. There's fireworks. There's respectable day drinking and barbecues.
Okay, yeah.
I was at the bakery and actually shit is my phone here. I meant to put this up on Instagram. The bakery I was at had a bunch of like Canada Day themed cakes that were all red and white. I didn't get one, but they were still really cool. I did grab a picture though, because I'm gonna put this shit up on Instagram. I'm
That's
gonna put
cool.
that shit up on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that shit up on Instagram right now.
Right now. Thanks for reminding me, Matt. So yeah, we got a pretty cool show in store for you, everyone. We of course have our big Luke Cage spoiler cast. I just finished seeing it not that long ago. Matt has seen it before me because he always seems to finish before me. It's the Australian advantage, as we call it.
It is.
But first and foremost, I guess we'll open up with the biggest news of the week. It's again, it's Sunday as we record this. We always record this Sunday night. It regards a spoiler, but don't worry, because if you're not a patron and you're not watching this beforehand, it won't be a spoiler because this goes up Wednesday morning when this piece of news will officially not matter anymore. But
Exactly.
the New York Times, in their infinite wisdom, saw fit to completely spoil the conclusion of Batman number 50, the big wedding day issue that comes out July 4th.
See, did they spoil it? Because we all knew this was going to happen.
That's the thing. It's one thing to spoil a twist, it's another thing where it's like, "Oh, really? That's it?" Oh, so I was gonna hate it regardless if it was spoiled or not. Oh, cool. Because can one truly spoil a Tom King story when he goes out of his way to spoil his own work
Well,
constantly?
not only that, can one spoil his story when there is no story?
Like, when there's no story, and when anyone with a brain and when any fan who has ever read more than two comics in their whole life would be like, they can't get married, they can't stay married, there's a million roadblocks. Oh, they just didn't? Okay.
Well, it's not only that, like the reasoning, because the article goes on to tell you the reasoning why it doesn't happen. The reasoning is like paper thin.
Oh yeah, it's funny too. Sometimes I worry about the way I make comic book videos online. Like, do I give too much away from the story? Is my commentary and my insight, my
Hmm.
everything enough? Do I have creative journalistic integrity? Oh, I have as much as the New York Times. Awesome.
Awesome.
Because that's basically what it is. Their article on this is if you had to read one of my videos. Only I make it 3 minutes and I make some dick jokes I put in there to keep you interested. But yeah, so they spoiled it. Yay. I guess it's so sad, and this happens more and more, doesn't it, Matt?
Yeah, yeah,
And here's the thing, like I actually asked around about this because it happens with such frequency. Marvel does it a lot too,
yeah.
but this is a pretty big flagrant DC version of it. The answer is, when I asked an actual industry person, why do all these big comic book storylines get spoiled by, like, New York Times and CNN and all these other places? The thing is that Marvel and DC are so hungry to have, quote unquote, legitimate big boy adult media outlets talk about their work. They will spoil their own story just so they can get an article written about them.
Oh, jeez, they're that desperate.
I mean, comic books are niche, man, and they're only getting niche. That's like one of those things where it's like, ooh, I want to be angry at you big two comic companies. Then I hear it and I'm like, oh shit, really? That's why? Oh fuck, I just feel sorry for you now. Shit, do you need some money? That's like if someone said, it's like you were really mad, or it's like, oh, you stole my VCR. Why did you not return my VCR? Oh, sorry, I'm addicted to heroin. Where it's like, oh, I'm still mad, but I also want to see you get some help. You're a victim of circumstance. But yeah, so that's the Batman news. I will try not to talk any more about this. Tune in next week after Matt and I have had a chance to read it, and I'm sure we will tear it to shreds.
Oh, I'm definitely sure.
Oh, that'll be fun, Matt, won't it?
That'll be very fun.
But you know what? It wasn't all doom and gloom for DC this week because they also had the big announcement. They told us be ready. They told us to save the date because we got our first trailer for the DC Universe streaming app.
An app that I cannot get.
Yeah, because Australia always gets fucked over. Is Canada allowed to get it? I didn't look that deep into it. Probably.
Maybe I know it's just like I know like people have just said it's just like America.
I mean, we're not allowed Hulu and we're not allowed a bunch of the streaming apps, so I wouldn't be surprised if Canada was fucked over either. Here's the thing that got me about the trailer. First off, no new footage of all these brand new shows they're
Hmm.
supposedly working on. Lots of title cards that we've already seen.
Yeah, yeah,
Lots of footage from movies we've already seen. No price point and no release date.
yeah. Again, I don't think they're too far ahead in the planning of it. They just had this idea for an app, and oh, we'll announce it.
Oh well, here's the thing, Matt. Again, the same person who told me about why comic companies go to the big media outlets also told me that they were supposed to announce this DC streaming app like 4 months ago.
Yeah, I think I remember you telling me that. Yeah, yeah.
So
It
they
kind
are,
of seems like it was something that was meant to come out like around 4 months ago, or like something that maybe was meant to come to like one of the big like cinema cons or something. Or
I think WonderCon was what I heard.
yeah,
Apparently, we were supposed to see this trailer at WonderCon and we didn't. And apparently, the scuttlebutt is the actual like logistics of it behind the scene. They're having a really hard time with it.
yeah. I can imagine it's not easy setting up a streaming service.
No, no, it's not. It's almost like I wouldn't undertake that. Plus, you're a comic company, is the thing. You're a comic entertainment company. What are you doing getting into streaming? I know Netflix makes it look good and everything. The one big surprise from this, and the one like legitimate, oh, okay, that's actually new, different, and cool, is not only can you get DC shows on this, but you can also stream comics with it as well.
Yeah, that's what I assumed was going to be happening with it. They're going to like bundle in the comics and basically everything they do into it.
Yeah, as they freaking should. Because, I
Yeah.
mean, come on, if this is the DC Universe streaming app, I better be able to get all of the DC content in one place.
And yeah, and because of that, I can imagine it's probably going to have quite a big price point on it.
Yeah, I have to wonder about that, where it's like, okay, do I get to pick like a virtual long box of comics I get to
Yeah.
read every month? Or if I pay you 15 bucks a month, do I get to read everything? Because if they gave everything away for free, for that 15 bucks they'd be hemorrhaging money. I know you don't watch wrestling, Matt, but they have the WWE network, which
Hmm.
is kind of what they're doing, and Warner Brothers and WWE are actually very close, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is where they got the idea. It's 9.99 and you get to, what is it, watch the entire back catalog of every pay-per-view and every special show from like across time and space. But with the 9.99 you also get every pay-per-view for free too.
So yeah, that's a good idea. I imagine they'd be silly not to have like a tiered sort of thing. So like if you just want to watch the TV and movies, you can get them. If you want to read the
Yeah.
comics, you can just get them, or you can get both of them.
Yeah, because that's quite the thing. Because a lot of people scoffed at WWE with their network, where it's like, guys, pay-per-views is how you make your money. That's one of the sweetest plums next to merchandise and T-shirts. You're gonna give all your pay-per-views away for free?
Well, it would seem to work. So
Yeah, or well, by free I mean for like 9.99
yeah,
a
yeah.
month. Where it's like, are they gonna do the same things for comics here? Where it's like, really, you have like what, 52, 50 odd books? You're gonna let people read those for free for like whatever amount of money it is? I mean, maybe again, I'm no Wall Street genius. Maybe someone has done the numbers and crunched the math and been like, well, here's our market share as it is now. Here's it is with this money. We'll
Yeah,
actually make over the point if we get this many people, it'll even out.
yeah, yeah. I can imagine they wouldn't just like do it just because there'd be like
Yeah.
a financial gain for them to do it.
You would hope so. And again, more power to them. I hope it works. Again, as I've said before, anything that gets comics in front of more people's eyes is good for the industry, is good for what you and I do, is good for everybody.
It is, and I'm hoping they bring it over to like the our other countries like Australia, and if it's not in Canada, Canada and everything,
Yeah,
because I'd pay for that. I'd pay
me
for
too. I would. I would pay for it, and then because it's our job, we'd get to write it off on our taxes later.
it.
Be like, no, it was a business expense. We needed the DC Universe streaming app to be up to date on everything. I needed it, damn it. Another piece of news we got from the DC Universe streaming app trailer, and this was a bit of depressing news. This was the other new thing we found out. Young Justice Season 3, it's coming. We promise it's coming, but it's not coming till 2019. We pushed it back again.
Makes me think maybe that's when the app's coming.
It kind of has to, right?
Like this, it sounds like a launch show for the app.
It would be very foolish considering that they sold this whole app with Young Justice Season 3 in mind. If they launched without Young Justice Season 3, I could picture that being disastrous.
Yeah, people would not be happy.
Because, like, I love the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, and I love all the DC animated movies, but I can and have been getting them elsewhere. Again, what is your Netflix model? What's the special thing you have that no one else has?
Exactly.
Yeah, which, hey, I'm really excited for Young Justice Season 3. Man, I hope it lives up to all the expectations I and everyone else has after this wait of thinking it was dead, making peace with it being dead and gone, only to be like, no, we're bringing it back, but we're bringing it back through this app, and where it's like, well, you haven't really showed us anything from it yet. Should I be worried about this?
Yeah. I don't know.
Because it would be so disappointing if this came back and it, like, not even just bad, if it just wasn't as good.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, I think people's expectations are getting a bit too high now. So, like, even if it's like still really good, but it doesn't like have that one thing that people want, people will just write it off immediately.
It's true. It's like rein it back, guys. Got to rein it back in a little bit. The other show, which we didn't see any new footage from it, but they released some new news and some new photos of it. The live action Teen Titans series. We got the full costume look for what Robin is going to look like.
Yeah, it's like a Batman Begins, like Nolan costume.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not bad, though. I mean, I know it's Robin when I look at him. I mean, like, I could nitpick stylistic choices all day and night, but yeah, it looks like Robin.
Yeah, it looks pretty decent. I know they've said the show as well is going to be R-rated as well.
I'm glad you brought that up, Matt. Yeah, apparently their big pitch for Teen Titans, the streaming show, is it's going to be R-rated now, this show about teens, and it's going to be geared more towards adults for some reason, even though, as much as I hate to admit it, the most successful incarnation of Teen Titans has been Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, doesn't really make much sense.
Why must the Teen Titans always occupy these two diametrically opposed extremes? Why can they never meet in the middle? Why must they either be so childish I need to be 6 to be able to enjoy it, or why does it need to be R-rated and dropping a bunch of F-bombs?
I don't know.
And here's the thing, like, this article came up, I saw Thorgy talking about it on Twitter, and I'm like, that's ridiculous. No one in their right mind would do a grim and gritty, dark Teen Titans show for their app. Then I read Teen Titans Special from this week, Matt.
I read that one as well.
Fuck.
They're starting it. They're doing it.
They're getting it ready, and they're getting ready early. Let's talk about this. First of all, Damien is a murderer again.
Yeah. Just on a whim.
Just on a whim. Adam Glass is just like, hey, that's a nice character development you got here. Peter Tomasi and Benjamin Percy and everyone else who's been writing the character for like the last 5 to 6 years. Let's just ball all that up and throw it away. Let's undo it all. Let's just undo all of it. And, hey, Wally West, let's make you an idiot to, again, further talk about your mishandling as a character. Hey, remember when you joined Slade's darker, grittier Teen Titans team because you were unhappy with how you were being treated by the Flashes and the rest of the team? Well, let's just do that again. And pretend like it didn't happen. Hey, Emiko, remember you were on good terms with your mom and who actually ended in a pretty nice place? Well, you're enemies again. She tries to kill you. Also, the Ninth Circle is back, even though they were destroyed at the end of Green Arrow. I didn't read that.
Yeah, I didn't read I only read the first issue. I bendised it.
But here's the thing. We need these kids to be angry, Matt. They need to be angry because parents just don't understand, is what it is.
Parents don't understand. They'll never understand.
Well, that's literally the marching orders. Like, these kids need to be angrier, have more attitude, and be more in your face than ever before. And I'm like, this is stop, please, Adam Glass, stop. No, you haven't even seen the 3 new gritty characters that I'm gonna introduce. No.
Yeah, I remember when those characters were announced, and we said like I think we actually like kind of joked about it. It's getting edgier and everything because it's like
Yeah,
Lobo's daughter and all these characters from like was it the New Age of Heroes and stuff and
yeah. Yeah, there was Lobo's daughter, who's definitely looking to be more edgy and in your face. Then there's like a Jin girl and like a big fat alien kid, and I'm like, these characters look focus grouped.
yeah, yeah,
They
character
they
by
look
committee.
character by community. They look focus grouped, and I said this before too. I'm like, feels like someone's afraid of champions, is what it feels like. Where it's like, oh, these kids who speak to teens and who teens actually care about shit. What do we do to make kids care? We make them edgy, is what we do. Kids love edge. Kids love feeling like they're getting away with something for reading it. But yeah, man, that Teen Titans was a really hard ride this week. Everything I read from DC was a hard ride this week. Again, the latter half of the show will be dedicated to Luke Cage, but man, there was some mishandling going on at DC this week, man.
There was a couple of issues there that were, yeah.
You want to talk about Superman before we move on, because I figure people are going to be dying to know what you think. So please, I render you the floor, sir.
I liked everything except that part with Jor-El.
Yeah.
Because this confirms that Bendis didn't read Oz Effect, or he only read the Cliff Notes, because Jor-El's back and he's basically doing the exact same plan he had in Oz Effect.
The exact same plan, only again, Bendis doesn't understand John's character. John's like, screw you, Mom and Dad. I'm gonna go with super awesome evil grandpa. We're gonna travel around the universe like Rick and Morty. Szechuan sauce.
That's exactly word for word how it was.
That's exactly how it went, everyone. That's exactly how it went. Which again, really, Bendis, this is how much you didn't want to write John.
Yeah.
Because your Superman was single and you wanted to invent Melody Moore and Robinson Good, so Superman might want to fuck at some point. This is what you did. A whole mini series of like, how do I break up the happy family that is Superman? And again, between John doing that and Damian killing someone in the same week, I imagine poor Peter Tomasi, who did so much work on both characters, I imagine him just banging his head against the table.
Yeah, he's like that guy on the front of the Action Comics issue 1 cover with his hands clasped on the side of his head and screaming.
Yeah. He's that guy, which again, thank God he at least gets to write more Super Sons, even if it's technically out of continuity now.
Well, is it though?
It's a side continuity.
It's my continuity.
It's my continuity because I choose it. That other shit isn't continuity. Oh man, that was rough. Titans was rough. Oh man, the final prelude to the wedding was rough too.
I didn't mind that.
It wasn't bad. Tim Seeley, it's clear his hands were tied. He tried to write some interesting stuff for Joker and Harley, but you can only do so much in a one-shot time. What got me was that they completely brush over the fact where it's like, but how did Joker find out about Batman and Catwoman's wedding? Never gonna tell you.
Yeah, we never really, unless who am I kidding? It's not gonna be explained in issue 50.
No, they're getting married in 50, and Joker might have died in 49. So no, we'll never find out.
Yeah, that does kind of. I did appreciate it though, that it was kind of like their version of like couples counseling.
Yeah,
where they're like working shit out and everything, and it felt like this should have been issues 47 and 48.
Yes, again. Yeah.
Of Batman.
Yeah, it should have actually been clear. I like that Tim Seeley clearly did his homework and he made reference to stuff like the death of a million smiles from Batman the Animated Series. I'm like, all right, you did your homework.
Yeah.
But again, that one was rough. What was the other DC book I read this week that totally hurt me? Detective Comics, the big long-awaited Brian Hill one. Did you get a chance to read that?
I did. I didn't mind it.
See, I didn't mind it either. It was probably the best of the ones I read, but
Yeah.
again, so many problems. Mainly after the end of Tynan's Detective Comics, Batman being like, I don't need a team anymore. I'm going to go solo. Did I say that? No, I'm going to turn around and try and rebuild the Outsiders as my own team. Justice League of America, never heard of it.
Yes, see, that's like the problem because this technically spins out of metal, and
Yes.
that would have been Scott Snyder setting up the Outsiders, and then someone had to come in and write that, and it's
Hmm.
kind of like tied the hands of whoever wrote it, especially after Tynan's story.
Also, the new villain Karma. I love Batman, but I hate the sidekicks. They make him weak. I need to kill all the sidekicks. Wasn't that Joker's plan in Death of the Family? Shut up.
Yeah, and I'm guaranteeing that it's that super fan we see at the start,
You
despite
mean
his death.
despite I know, right? Oh, you mean Benny the comic historian? You mean the guy I work with who has purple hair, that
That's the
haircut?
thing.
He does.
That's the thing. I was looking. I'm like, this guy looks so familiar.
He is literally a sickening amalgamation of all the major comic book YouTubers. Only not you or I though, because he's not white and has a chin beard. Thanks, Brian Hill. It's nice to know who you watch. He's got Nerd Sings glasses. He's got Benny's hair. He's vaguely Asian, like Comic Island. But he's not me, though. That's no. See, that's gonna be the twist. Karma's gonna take off his mask, and it's gonna be me, you, Comic Pop, Comics Explained, and all the other channels melded together. We're the bad guys. He's gonna be like a biracial guy with a chin beard and an Australian Italian accent. That's what he's gonna be.
Oh god.
I hate the sidekicks. It's
Yeah,
better without them.
yeah. I didn't mind that. You're not reading Flash War, are you?
No, I'm not. What's up with Flash War?
You should be reading that because this is probably the best event DC have on at the moment.
That's what I'm hearing. I feel really bad that I didn't keep reading Joshua Williams' Flash Run because I love Joshua Williams. He's probably one of the best kept secrets at DC these days.
Yeah, yeah. This story is it's been building up for quite some time, but yeah, this issue is like I want to say like the halfway point. I don't know how long the event is. I think it's 6 parts, 5 parts maybe.
Right.
But yeah, this is the Hunter Zolomon tricking Wally into like breaking the Speed Force, and he does it, and doing that gives Hunter other powers outside the Speed Force, so like the
Oh,
Strength Force, the Sage Force, a
cool.
bunch of other ones, and he dons like the original Flash costume
Oh, nice.
because he kept the original Flash ring that had the costume in it, and uh,
Oh, cool.
so yeah, and like his whole deal is that if I can't be a villain, I'll become a hero, and I'll become the best hero, and the best heroes take risks like breaking the Speed Force.
That does sound like up my alley. That does like sound like I would dig it.
It even sort of throws into question like that Titans thing with Wally because
Uh,
the last one he got like disintegrated by Dr. Manhattan.
Oops. Yeah, yeah, Wally, again, so much discontinuity. Wally's fighting the Suicide Squad in that Titan special, and he's like, the Suicide Squad killed my father. No, they didn't. Your father died heroically defending the Suicide Squad and a Middle Eastern nation, and you knew this already.
And you even in like the Flash book he sort of come to terms with that and accepted it.
Adam Glass didn't read anything.
No.
Here's the problem, Matt. Bendis on Superman is spreading to the other books. Everyone is coming down with bendicitis.
Appendicitis.
Oh, I got a bad case of the bendicitis. Oh, I'm not going to read those last 6 months worth of books.
I'll read the wiki pages.
I'll read the wikis and make it up. You think like I get it. Some writers are busy. They can't read everything. Sometimes you want a clean
Well,
start.
that's what editors are for.
That's what editors are for. And also, don't reference things if you didn't read it.
Yeah,
And you think
I
like
don't
that
get
would
it.
be you think it would be a rule, right? Where it's like, okay, Adam Glass, you got Teen Titans now. Cool. Read the Benjamin Percy run. It was only like 19 issues.
Yeah.
Read that, try and figure it out. Read a little of this, that, and the other. But no, apparently not. But ah well, enough about crapping on DC's admittedly bad week. We got some more news here. So Jared Leto is apparently going to be taking a break from the Joker cinematic universe to star in the upcoming Morbius movie from Sony.
Jesus Christ. Now, is he going to become Mobius? Is he going to become a vampire?
Is he going to really live the character? Is he going to send, condoms filled with blood to all of his co-workers and everything? Is he going to sleep in a coffin? But it's like, dude, you're a living vampire, whatever. How method is he going to take this role as Morbius? Will he only go out at night and not see the sun?
Will he file his teeth into fangs?
I think he has to, really. I would really appreciate nothing else. Will he get the words bloodsucker tattooed across his forehead? Because he's real messed up, He's real messed up.
Oh, God.
No, he's gonna get teeth like actually grafted to his hands, like in the cartoon. For Morbius, plasma. I need your plasma. Just gonna walk around the streets of LA asking people for their plasma. So do we think this is going to be like a Venom thing where against all odds it gets made, or do we think this is going to be like a Black Cat Silver Sable that like cooler heads prevail and it doesn't get made?
Yeah, again, it's probably just one of those things that kind of comes to fruition, but then at the last minute it's cancelled. Though in saying that, like, for all we know, Venom could do really well.
That's the thing. It could shock. It could be shit, but everyone could go see it because it's Venom.
Yeah, and not just that, the general audience will think, oh, it's related to Spider-Man.
I think that's very much what Sony is betting on in this situation. They really, really want you to go and see it because of that.
Yeah, and if that happens, we'll end up getting this and probably getting like some weird villain universe like they were trying to do with the Sinister Six.
Oh God. The Sinister Universe. Fuck me.
Yeah, and Aunt May Secret Agent movies.
Oh, Secret Agent Aunt May has to go forward in time with a shield time machine to stop the villains. But she can't die, though, or else it'll mess with the present, past, future. And then Black Cat and Silver Sable can be in there, too. We'll just put it all together. We'll just put it all in a pot.
All in a pot. Then that'll work.
That'll work. That's what they want to see. But hey, you know what? Again, to say that everything Sony's doing is wrong, would be a little untrue, because they also have the rights to the Valiant universe of comics there, Matt. And apparently they're setting serious work on trying to get a Faith movie to work now.
That's cool. I haven't read Faith, but I know a lot of people really liked it.
I like the concept of Faith a heck of a lot. A plus-size superhero woman who I think she's a blogger, she works for a website or something. And I'm like, thank you, a superhero who has my job for a change. Someone I can see myself in. I think her superhero name is Zephyr, and she can control the wind. It's funny, too, because apparently they have two Valiant projects in the works right now. This Faith movie and also Bloodshot. And I like they had the Manchurian Candidate super soldier movie and the kind of like more down-to-earth movie about the big woman. I like they decided it's like, big woman, we can do super soldier later. We think more people will like big woman than albino super soldier.
As long as they don't get Amy Schumer to play her.
Amy Schumer will put on the weight for this role. She's willing to do it.
Please no, the movie will bomb then.
Melissa McCarthy is now. Melissa McCarthy's a little too old for this.
Yeah.
No, you know who they get? Rebel Wilson is Faith.
She's a little bit too old as well.
She's getting there too. If this was like back during like that first acapella movie, maybe, but not now. It will be interesting to see who they cast for this, because again, you're basically making Hollywood go against all its worst impulses.
Yeah.
Where it's like cast as best friend. No, she's the lead. Quirky best friend. No, lead Hollywood.
Jesus Christ.
Lead quirky. I'm so we just can't. It's just not our way. We can't do it. But yeah, so there's Faith. Again, I'd like to see something become of the Valiant universe, even though I've often talked about the state of Valiant as a company right now, that they were bought out by Chinese investors and basically turned into an IP farm.
Yeah.
Which is a sad final chapter in this company's history. But hey, if we get one good movie about it, that'd be something. And somewhere Jim Shooter will cry a single tear. I worked on that. I helped that. That was one of several companies I made and was then ousted by. They're like all my delinquent children who don't call anymore. I made you, damn it. I made all of this. I paid for your splendor. But I'm not bitter. Speaking of off the wall comic book properties and different media projects, here's a game that got announced, and I think this one got buried under all the other E3 Spider-Man news, so I felt it was kind of my duty to talk about it. What do you know about Blacksad, Matt?
Very little.
All right, I will explain it to you and by extension the audience.
Yeah.
Blacksad is a series of detective stories
Yeah.
published mainly in France by a Spanish art and writing team. Basically, the best way I could describe it is, what if Zootopia was super hardcore and
Yeah.
in the 50s? Yeah, you follow a detective, John Blacksad, who is a Black Panther, by which I don't mean he's part of the Black Panther Party. No, he's a literal
Black Panther.
anthropomorphized Black Panther who solves crimes in the 1950s. And they're just really good detective stories, and they're beautifully drawn. Like, oh my God, every image is a goddamn painting.
It is.
It's maybe like it's the reason why one comes out like maybe every 2 to 3 years, because it takes forever to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fucking gorgeous. It's getting the video game treatment apparently.
Yeah, I did see some images of it, and looks pretty good. It's like kind of similar to
Wolf Among Us.
Yeah, like the Fable one, yeah.
I got a very big Wolf Among Us vibe. For a second there, I'm like, wait, did Telltale get the rights to this too? Telltale gets the right to everything. Oh no, it's not actually.
Yeah, so it probably won't be like a point and click game like their games very much are.
Although I would be fine with that if it was, because that's basically all the story. Solve the mystery, get into a fight with a thug, maybe a shootout or a car chase.
Yeah.
And it seems to be an original story too, which is something quite interesting, because the dude has been like very controlling of it. The creator, who again he's a Spanish guy. It's a very world-centric comic written by a Spanish guy for the French market that gets translated into English later. It's very funny like that. Actually, the last trade that came out, what is it? The original Green Arrow guy. He wrote like the foreword for it, and he basically just wrote like 6 paragraphs being like, I fucking love this book. It's so good. And I'm like, if it's good enough for you, it's good enough for me. But yeah, that's Blacksad. That's pretty cool. Keep an eye out for that. And if you've never read Blacksad, check it out.
Yeah, it should be pretty good. Did you also hear that apparently Telltale, while we're talking about Telltale, they're changing their engine finally?
I did hear that. Man, that engine had a good decade-long run.
It was pushing Bethesda's Radiant engine there for a bit.
Again, it's about time. Boy, did they just, squeeze it for everything it was worth.
It is about time, because their games are starting to look very bad.
They kind of are. Like, as much shit as I give David Cage for being a pretentious hack of a writer and everything, Detroit Become Human looks really pretty.
It does.
It's a really nice looking game. It's a shame it's about as subtle as a sledgehammer. It's simultaneously his best and his worst game. It's his best because it looks great and plays great, and Clancy Brown is in it, and that makes everything better. Ooh, it's your worst though, because you actually tried to say something and tried to be timely and topical, and you are not a good writer. Can I just do Seven again? I love the movie Seven, and I love aliens. Can I just, steal from them forever and ever? Yes, David. Yes, you can. Okay.
The emotion.
Can I take the naked pictures of the Ellen page, even though I said I didn't, and get a suit? Yes, you can. And then can I sue the media for saying that I'm a terrible boss and that my company is a terrible place to work? I can. Oh, I love it so much. Living the American dream. Thanks, Tommy Wiseau of video games. And on that note, everyone, Luke Cage Season 2. We finally saw it. If you haven't seen it yet, save this show, come back later. We will be spoiling everything.
Everything. I didn't put spoilers in my video review, mainly because I knew we were going to be talking about this today.
And there's some pretty big stuff worth spoiling in this that actually happens. I mean, to just come out and say it, I really enjoyed Luke Cage season 2. I think it is a vast improvement over season 1.
Well, not only a vast improvement over season 1, but like the overall Netflix shows.
Yes, they evolved it again. And again, I was going to say this. I am so happy that they actually seem to have taken some of the best pages out of the Jessica Jones playbook, and that is keep the cast nice and small. So even when you break off from Luke, you're having interesting stories. Don't be afraid to throw a flashback episode in there at some point to help flesh things out, because those do really well.
Yeah, yeah.
And just make it about the hero having to reconnect with a familial figure. Which, between Jess doing it in season 2 of her show, Luke doing it here, and Daredevil almost certainly doing it with his mother and his show, it's kind of a nice theme for phase 2 of Netflix.
It is, really is.
How good was Reggie McCarthy there as Luke's dad, the preacher?
He was really good. It's good.
So, which this show is actually dedicated to his memory because he died.
Yeah. I do like when you first see him this season, you can't really help but hate him a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But then as it goes along and everything, you're like, oh yeah, I could see what he did was okay, and
he charms the pants off.
Yeah.
Very, very charming dude. Him and Mike Coulter have a really good back and forth between themselves. And again, too, Luke goes through a big ass journey in this show as a character, emotionally, and just everything.
He really does. He really does. Yeah.
They did an excellent job mining this idea where it's like, okay, season 1, he's the defender of Harlem. Season 2, he joins the Defenders, kind of helps save New York City. And now he kind of has to deal with and reconcile being like the sheriff of Harlem, being a hero, but also not having a secret identity and basically having to be on 24/7.
Yeah, and it's not made easy by his friend there starting, what is it, the Hero app?
Oh, yeah, the Hero of Harlem app.
Yeah, so whenever anyone sees him, they can put the locator on him, and he's over here, he's here, and nothing in his life is like his own anymore.
No, he got out of prison. Now it's like he's a prisoner in his own life.
Yeah.
Another smart thing they do is, obviously, he was with Claire at the end of the other shows. They do a really interesting job because Claire and Luke are probably the healthiest romantic relationship we've seen on the show, to kind of see how being a superhero and being a vigilante would really play havoc with any romantic relationship, which, again, it's like you see a lot with cops where it's like, are you married to me or are you married to the job? And Luke has to be married to one hell of a job all the time.
Yeah, and it kind of gets the better of him a little bit as well.
Yeah.
As we see, when Claire leaves him, it's because he gets overly angry at this wife beater.
Yeah, really, in which he ends up punching the wall and kind of really breaks. And even as his father says, for some people, getting angry is one thing. If you get angry and you lose your shit, no one can stop you.
No.
And that's terrifying to be your friend and terrifying to be around you. There's a real theme, too, that his dad, the preacher, brings up. He talks about, this old Native American story that was later shown up in the Bible. This idea of, what wolf do you feed? In every man there are two wolves, the one that wants vengeance and the one that doesn't. And, what kind of man are you, whichever wolf you feed? That's very much reflected in the villain of this season, Bushmaster.
Yeah, oh my god, I love Bushmaster.
He is excellent. He is one of the best things about this show. He's so good they don't kill him at the end. They just let him get away.
I know, that's so good.
And he gets away, which again, there's because he's Jamaican, obviously, Bushmaster this season is filled with amazing reggae music. The whole time I'm watching there, I'm like, why haven't they used any Bob Marley yet? For the last scene with Bushmaster, they use my favorite Bob Marley song, Redemption Song. Mustafa Shakir is the actor who plays him. I legitimately thought he was Jamaican. He's not. He's just an amazing actor.
Yeah, he's really good at a Jamaican accent.
And again, just much like Luke, he is charming when he has to be. Like, you'd want to hang out with him. He's brutal and terrifying when he has to be, and yet he's weirdly sympathetic for the entire show as well.
Well, that's the thing. Like he's not a villain to Luke. Luke just happens to
No.
get in the way. He's a villain to Alfie Woodward's Mariah
Yeah.
Dillard.
Yeah, how often is that a thing where you have a villain in a show who his motivations and his drives and what he wants has nothing to do with the hero. The hero just continually gets in his way.
Yeah, he just happened to be there.
Which again, the idea is like, Bushmaster's war with Mariah and the Stokes family spills over into Harlem, and innocent people will get hurt, and that's what Luke can't abide. It's very Western in that regard. There's a lot of Western allusions in this season, and there's a lot of Godfather allusions in this season, so much to the point that they actually steal the final shot from Godfather with the closing door.
I like that. I thought that was cool.
I like that a lot too. Man, did you know Lucy Liu directed the first episode in this?
I did, because I saw her name in the director's credit.
Yeah, she's got chops, Lucy Liu. Can she direct more? Can she direct a couple Iron Fists?
Well, please. Oh, speaking of Iron Fist, let's talk about Iron Fist, who gets that one episode that like writes everything right.
This is how good Luke Cage season 2 is. It saves Danny Rand as a character. Episode 10 is basically the Heroes for Hire episode, and it's better than the entirety of Iron Fist season 1.
He's so good in this.
He's everything he should have been. The relationship between him and Luke is perfect and spot on. I didn't want it to end.
I know. It makes me want the showrunner of this, Chio Hadari Koka, to do Iron Fist.
Please, or at the very least, can Luke come over for an episode of Danny's show?
I think
and
he
can
will
they team
be.
up there?
I think
he will too. And also, I know he's still kind of technically with Colleen Wing right now, but they're kind of moving the relationships around. Hey, can Misty do a guest spot on Iron Fist? Because there are a couple in the comics. I'd like to see them explore that.
That'd be really cool. I liked Misty's role in this season as well. She had to sort of
She gets so much to do.
deal with losing her arm and how that affects her job, but also like deciding on whether she wants to be like her old partner.
Yep. If she even wants to be a cop anymore is the thing. There's a couple times where I'm like, oh, is she going to quit and be the private detective Misty Knight from the comics, or is she going to feel the pull to come back? But yeah, there's a lot of really interesting stuff with her. It's funny because obviously, because Luke Cage, as we mentioned, is a hero and a public person. Misty has kind of like these real world Commissioner Gordon problems where it's like, well, obviously I want to help the vigilante. He has everyone's best, best in mind, only for the other cops to be like, you can't do that. That breaks the law super hard. And she's like, well, no one got mad at Jim Gordon for this. He's a bulletproof man. Who doesn't want a bulletproof man on your side? Yeah, her shit's good. The arm looks super cool. She also wears a lot more red, which obviously is her comic costume.
Yeah, I like that. I like that once she got the arm, she started wearing all the red and everything.
It's very subtle. It's like, I'm not wearing a costume yet, but I'm building up to wearing a costume.
Yeah.
We also got another new character. We got to meet Mariah's daughter, Tilda Johnson, also known as Tilda Stokes, also known in the comics as Deadly Nightshade.
Yeah, which is funny because she delivers the Nightshade to Bushmaster that gives him his powers.
Which is the source of his powers in this version, which I gotta say, for two characters who were super underwritten in the comics, they actually do a great job bridging the gap between them, and I was happy with what they actually found between them.
Yeah, they were really great.
And Deadly Nightshade even wears her costume at the end, too, and she comes in with the double buns and wearing all black. Like, that's your comic costume. You're wearing a costume. That's so cool. Yeah, man, the stuff they wrote with Bushmaster also calls into question a lot of stuff we know about metahumans and powers in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where it's like, yeah, he gets his powers from Nightshade, which is magic. But as we saw in Thor and everything else, well, you call it magic, we call it science. Maybe it's somewhere in the middle.
And it kind of is a science because it's like a plant, and you got to get like the extract from it and all that sort of stuff. So it kind of is a science to it. But yeah, it's like he does like the voodoo rituals and everything, and yeah.
They also seek to imply that maybe he had a latent meta gene
Yeah.
anyway because he survived flu shots that killed everyone else. So maybe there was something special in him. And the witch doctor even essentially says, "Oh, Nightshade doesn't heal; it only reveals what was in you all along." And I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you're making it sound like the super soldier serum, actually."
Well, that's what I was thinking. Is I'm like, oh, this is kind of like a sort of like a super soldier serum light.
Yes.
Because
Only it's like a drug that slowly kills you.
yeah, it makes you go like insane and crave more.
It's very Shakespearean, where it's like, no, I need more of it. He's kind of fiending like a junkie. There's a lot of great allusions. There's the Shakespearean stuff, the like war that we see between the Stokes family and Bushmaster's family
Yep.
play out over the decades is super Hatfields and McCoys. They
Yeah. Oh
even bring
yeah.
that up.
Oh yeah.
To where I'm like, wow, these characters that again were kind of written in season one, you added so much lore to it, and you get a lot of that in the flashback episode. And man, did they cast some good people to play the younger versions of everyone else.
Oh yeah. There's some like the guy that plays like the younger Bushmaster actually kind of
Mhm.
looks like him as well.
You looked almost exactly like him. I'm like, shit, this is really good casting. The lady who plays young Alfred Woodley, Mariah, is also really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
She had her attitude there where it's like, get me a drink, get me a towel. Man, she's really good in this too, isn't she? She is
Uh,
swinging for the fences with this
I
performance.
I love that like throughout the season she's just got like kind of like more and more like unhinged and
Oh
insane,
yeah,
and so much so that like Shades like is kind of like stepping back and go like, no, too crazy.
too much. She has her Lady Macbeth moment. She gives like several just straight up Lady
Yeah.
Macbeth monologues in this.
Yeah.
Answer me this one. I watched the show with someone who kept saying it's like, is she supposed to be drunk in this scene, or is that just how she's performing?
I know what you I know like the scenes you're talking about, yeah, where she go like just go completely unhinged, and
Yeah,
it was
she's
like a drunk coked out like woman or
yeah,
something.
yeah, getting a little slurry. Every word's getting a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
longer, and I'm just like, is this just her unique way of playing, or did she knock a couple back before the take and no one wanted to say anything? Hey, maybe she's super method like that. Maybe she's like, nah, I need a couple drinks to play this character.
Yeah, maybe just like booze was part of the craft services, and she just
I got
kept
I
drinking
gotta
it.
yeah, I gotta bring the evil out a little bit by drinking. Like, man, if she now that's good method. That's not Jared Leto method where you just fuck with everyone for no reason. But yeah, I mean, really, what else is there to say? It's like this was such a layered season. There was so much going on.
There was so much going on, and it never felt overstuffed or
Mhm.
understuffed. Like every episode like meant something. There was none of that like where you get to like episode 8 or 9, that slump. None of that.
Yep. It's funny because like episode 9, they have the big fight in Rand Industries. I'm like, oh, so that's the end, right? Wow, they wrapped
It
this up
felt
pretty
like
quick.
that, yeah.
It felt like the end. Then there's like, oh no, no, there's 4 more episodes. I'm like, man, I bet these 4 episodes are gonna suck. This is where it's gonna take a dive because they ran out of material. Oh no, wait, Danny Rand crossover. Oh no, wait, flashback episode. Oh no, wait, they pulled all their tricks out at the end.
Yeah, yeah, it was really great.
Yeah, it was really well done. Again, to bring it back to Bushmaster and just how awesome he is, one of my favorite things about his characterization is they do something with him that they never really do with supervillains, and I wish they should start doing more. They gave him a family, just a
Mm.
normal, regular, down to earth family who even busted his balls about being a supervillain. They're like, oh no, you did this now.
Yeah, yeah, they like run that it's like a Jamaican bar restaurant
Yeah,
sort of thing.
Gwen's.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. And yeah, there's like scenes where he's just like hanging out there with them, and like
Yeah.
watching sports and stuff, or
Hmm.
just hanging with them.
Yeah, and they know what he's doing, but they
Yeah.
don't judge him for it. Like they understand where it's like, yeah, the Stokes did some really horrible things to him. He's just got to work it out. He's just got to get it out of his system, and he'll be fine. He's not though. The uncle is really great too. Uncle Anasazi there. He's a background character, but even he has a little mini arc in this where he keeps telling
Yeah.
his nephew, "Oh, you got to stop taking the nightshade. It's killing you. I'm not going to watch you kill yourself. I'm not going to let you do this." Then you find out in the flashback that when he got hurt as a kid, he took him for the first nightshade infusion to save his life.
Yeah, he's kind of like Bushmaster's pops.
Yes, he absolutely is. And again, this whole season two is about drawing comparisons between Bushmaster and Luke. And they even say, in another life, I bet we could have been friends,
Yeah,
is the thing, but
well,
not now.
well, you see that comparison. You see like Luke, and he's alone in the barber shop, whereas
Mm,
Bushmaster has his family and everything in
yep.
in a busy shop and everything. And it's a
Yeah.
great comparison.
They do a lot of that really well. And I'm like, man, it's hard to believe they're turning Bushmaster into Luke Cage's like true arch nemesis when he was like in maybe two or three stories in the
Yeah,
comics.
well, I'm glad they are.
Man, here's the thing, people complain sometimes where it's like, oh, what did the comics have to follow the show so hard? Hey, Luke Cage comics, any of these street level comics, bring this version of Bushmaster in.
Yeah,
He's
it
that
doesn't
good.
matter for like these type of characters who don't really have that many runs, or like these
Yeah.
characters are really super underdeveloped. You can do that with this, and yeah, bring this Bushmaster to the comics, please.
Please do. Please do. He's that good. He's just that good. What else do we have going on this season? Again, some really nice deep cuts. If you are a Luke Cage fan and if you are a Marvel Street Level fan, we have Piranha Jones,
Hmm.
the stock criminal who kind of kicks things off in the first four episodes, trying to get Mariah and Shades to move away from like traditional crime into more corporate crime. He's a guy from the comics.
Yeah, yeah, I like that episode where Luke has to go sort of like work for him at that like the
Mhm.
party, and he's got like
Oh, that was fun
all the stuff in his office, all the like Luke Cage paraphernalia.
because he's a super fan, don't you know?
Yeah.
That episode is great too because that does some amazing foreshadowing where he's like, "Oh, I bought you for the party. I'm gonna shoot you, and it's gonna be a fun party game." Only for Luke to be like, "Hey, you idiot! If one of those bullets ricochets, you have no idea who you could hit." It must have been so hard to write fight scenes with Luke Cage, a guy who's super strong and bulletproof, but they pull it off so excellently. They kind of have to redesign what a fight scene would be like with this character because he knows he's not going to get hurt. It's all about him trying to minimize casualties to everyone else. And he also knows he can't hit anyone too hard or he might kill them. So he has like slap fu. He just
Yeah,
slaps
he
them on the
slaps
head
him
and
on the
knocks them
head.
out.
Yeah.
Apparently like the stunt coordinator, that's what he called it. Apparently they really worked hard to be like, okay, how would a guy like this fight? Like they actually worked it out.
It makes sense. Yeah, they would have to work something like that out. Because yeah, you
He's
can't
a
just like
guy.
go punch someone, just kill
Hmm.
them.
Yeah, he's a guy always trying to find control. The fights too with Bushmaster are excellent too because they're not Daredevil and they're not Iron Fist fights. They're very brutal street fights with like little extra flares here and there. Again, I couldn't help but be reminded of what is it, really good like wrestling booking or like sports movies and how they build it up. Because like Bushmaster wins the first time because he blindsides him. Then he wins the second time because he cheats. Luke wins the third time, but no one's watching. And then the fourth time, everyone's at full power.
They're high production world star videos.
Super high production. Luke Cage season two, the world star of fights.
They're brutal. I really liked that second fight with them on the bridge,
Oh,
where
so good.
that was such a good fight.
It was like a Bruce Lee movie. It was like
Yeah,
Rumble in the Bronx and everything. Meet me here at sunrise and we'll fight it out. And yeah, that was really good. They also do a good job showing where it's like, yes, you can't shoot Luke Cage, you can't burn him or stab him. He can drown, he can suffocate. That's a big problem for him. And if you hit him hard enough in the head, he will get a concussion.
yeah. You just gotta hit him hard enough.
Hard enough. And some of the smarter thugs figure that out near the end, which I appreciated.
Yeah, they start using like the like those guns Shade and all that had in like the
Mhm.
end of the first season. They start like equipping themselves with that and like shooting him with it, and it doesn't kill him, but it like hurts him.
Hmm. Yeah, that's another thing too. They actually make Luke stronger this season too, and it helps.
Yeah, yeah,
I guess they had to do something to write out where it's like, well, we have these Judas bullets. It's the one thing we that can actually hurt him, and we had a whole story of him having to find the doctor again to get it taken out. We can't do that again. So let's all-star Superman this and say he's actually getting stronger.
yeah. But every time he gets hit by one of them, his skin or like that like endoskeleton-y sort of thing sort of hardens a bit more.
That's pretty smart. Another deep cut they had there, Cockroach Hamilton, yet
Yep.
another character from the comics who was an old guy in a cockroach hat. The lawyer, I didn't catch this right away. Ben Donovan is Big Ben Donovan, who was a purple suited lawyer villain from the comics.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, he's a real guy. I'm like, holy shit, he's a real guy too. They're all real. That's awesome.
Yeah, Foggy makes an appearance, which is really cool.
That's another thing that I think makes Luke Cage season 2 really work. It has probably the best crossovers and the best use of continuity.
Yeah, and I like that like Foggy he's seemingly like the lawyer's defender, like
I
he's
like
the
that.
defender's lawyer and everything. He's working
Defender's Defender.
yeah, he's like working for these guys.
That's really well done. I like that that's tying everything together. We didn't see Turk this season though. Oh no, we did.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
worked
we
in the
did.
head shop. That's right.
He worked with all the bongs and smashing all the bongs and everything.
He's gone straight now, Turk, don't you know? But he's still got to keep his cred. Another great character from the comics. Comanche showed up, the other member of the Rivals. I remember I was a little disappointed in season 1 how they handled the Rivals, because in the comics that's the gang that Carl Lucas was a member of, but obviously they've changed it around. Now he's not from Harlem, he's from Georgia. But the Rivals were the prison gang that Diamondback was a member of, and Comanche and Shades worked for him. They bring them back in a great way and even give them their own little salute. Rivals, we ain't got none.
Yeah, I really liked like him and Shades like overall story and everything. How they're like
Super unexpected.
yeah, it was really his Shades story as well through the whole season is really good.
They did a gay romance subplot that was very subtle and very
Yeah,
respectful.
yeah, very very respectful.
And what is it? A May December romance between him and Mariah, which was also very subtle and very respectful.
Yeah,
Just a lot of good stuff, which good for Theo Rossi, because I always complained in season 1 with him where I'm like, man, what an underrated actor having such an underwritten role, where Shays basically walked around all of season 1. I'll be important later. I'll be important later. And he was important here.
yeah. That's the thing. I always kind of knew he was gonna get like in like season 2 or something, a bit more to do.
Yeah, and I'm happy for him. I really am.
Yeah.
The music, again, stellar. Music is probably a bigger part of this show than any of the other Netflix shows, because you have the built-in story thing of Harlem's Paradise. So there's a new band and new celebrity like every episode.
Yeah, Ghostface Killer.
Ghostface, the RZA, the Jizza, the Ghostface Killer made it here. Oh, again, too, there's not one, but 2 actual songs that characters sing in this about the events of the show.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. I thought that was really cool.
That was one. Tilda just sits down and just belts out a ballad about things that are going on with her and things that have happened in the show. And then KRS-One comes on and also has a brand new Luke Cage rap about things that have been going on. And I'm like, man, these guys really put the work in to write about what was going on in their world. Hey, Daredevil, do you have 2 songs written about you? Didn't think so, because you're laid up in an abbey probably after shit got dropped on you. It was also funny, too, in the crossover, Luke Cage is like, really, Danny, you fought a dragon to get your fist and everything? I'm like, yeah, Luke, you saw bones. Those were dragon bones in the Defenders. That's what the hand wanted. Dragons are legit real, and magic is legit real. Which is a beautiful thing about this show and the MCU in general. You can have this neo-noir blaxploitation story, but also have a villain in it who is legit magic.
Yeah, yeah.
Really well done. But what else do you have to say, Matt?
I don't know. There's not really much more to say. It was really good, really well rounded. I was kind of worried that it might fall into those same pitfalls that the other season has, but it didn't.
It didn't. It got to the halfway point and didn't kill the far superior, far interesting villain.
Yeah, I was kind of worried they were
one.
gonna do that.
Me too. I was like, oh no, are they gonna get rid of Bushmaster and then have Deadly Nightshade come in and be the villain for the latter half of the season? Thankfully, they didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, friggin' Bushmaster survives, so
Yeah.
he's probably gonna be a villain again next season.
Yeah, next season he could appear in like Iron Fist or anywhere
That's
really.
right. He could, again, I keep saying for Defender season 2, they need to let the villains escape so they can form like the villainous Defenders, the Offenders.
That'd be really cool. I don't know if they're gonna make another season of Defenders, but yeah, that'd be really cool. Like a villain from each of the shows, they all come together and fight the Defenders. Yeah, the Offenders.
Thank you. That one's free, Marvel Netflix. You can have that one. The Offenders. Think about it. You could have Bushmaster, you could have Bullseye, you could have, well, I was gonna say you could have Frank Simpson, but you can't. He's dead, unfortunately. You can have, I don't know, one of the shitty villains from Iron Fist, whatever.
Yeah, get a Punisher villain in there, and
oh yeah. Oh, so you could get you could get Jigsaw because he's alive now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit you could do with that one.
I tell you what though, I was talking to people in the Discord server about this. Now with the end of this season, sort of hinting that like Luke has become sort of like he's become the kingpin of Harlem.
Which is very Daredevil. That's what Bendis did in his Daredevil run. That Matt became kingpin. It's cool that they did it with Luke.
See, I'm really hoping for like Daredevil season 3 when the Kingpin comes back. We get like an episode that crosses over with Luke Cage where like Matt has to go to Luke, who's the Kingpin now, to like help him defeat
I like that.
Wilson.
I like that a lot, and have Kingpin be like, okay, I'm back now. Time to hire Bullseye to go kill all my rivals for me. Oh, Luke Cage is a rival now.
Yeah, how do I kill someone who's invincible?
And Bullseye, who I'm sure will be awesome, be like, I'll take it, I'll do it, I'll figure it out. I don't know how Bullseye is going to talk in that show, but I know he's not going to be Irish, and that's all that's important.
Yeah.
He probably won't say anything, because that's mostly Bullseye from the comics. He doesn't talk all that much.
Yeah, well, hopefully he doesn't.
And when he does, it's super creepy when he does talk. But yeah, some other places I think would be cool if they take it, because they did Bushmaster. They worked magic with him that was super unexpected. Some other Luke Cage villains they could potentially do. It's so funny. I was pitching Tombstone forever, and literally the story I had pitched for Tombstone, they did with Bushmaster here. Like, it's basically exactly what I wanted, only it would have been Tombstone instead of Bushmaster. Hardcore is a villain they could do. Do you know much about Hardcore, Matt?
No, I'm not really too familiar with Luke Cage villains, except for like all like the bigger ones.
No one's familiar with Luke Cage villains. I don't blame you. Hardcore, he's got like a top fade, and he wears purple, and he's got like studded belts around his arm and waist, and he's super tough. He's super hardcore. But that's the problem with Luke Cage villains too. Most of them are exactly the same. Just big black guys who are as strong as Luke.
Yes, they're just Luke Cage, but if he was a villain.
If he was a villain. There's him, there's the Mangler, who again, same deal. There's one of the Chemistros, which would be fun, because Chemistro is one of those guys. It's like a legacy. Everyone's worn the costume. He's just a guy with like a chemical gun.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
That would be fun, because again, what does Nightshade say here? Oh, your skin is so amazing and so tough. I bet acid could burn it, though.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
A villain who sprays acid, then Luke wouldn't know what the hell to do. He's got an acid gun. What do I do? Another fun one they could do, Gideon Mace is another villain I could see them doing. You know what his deal is?
What's that?
He's an ex-soldier, an angry white guy who might be racist, and he has a big mace on his hand.
Oh, fantastic.
And his mace sprays mace sometimes. I'm not fucking joking, that's real. Comic book writers in the 70s, am I right? Hey, so his name's going to be Mace, and it's going to shoot Mace. Because that would be fun, because we see that Luke kind of creates... Well, he tries and stops a power vacuum in Harlem, but we also see that, like, evil Italian and Irish and Russian criminals all want a piece of Harlem, but, like, Mariah kept them at bay, and now Luke will have to keep them at bay.
Yeah. That's going to be very interesting to see if they do that in what they do with Luke Cage season 3. I'd like maybe, like, they don't technically have, like, a big villain, but they have Luke having to wrestle with the fact that he's a crime lord now, and how does that affect how people see him and all that sort of stuff.
Again, if they're doing what I think they're doing, and they're cribbing notes from Bendis's run on Daredevil when he became the Kingpin, I hope they have the scene they had in Daredevil where all the other Defenders come together and basically have like an intervention for him. And be like, Luke, you're scaring us right now.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. Either all of them, or like Danny or someone, or Claire
Yeah.
comes back or something.
Or even Jess. Can Jess be a
Yeah.
big thing in season 3? I want Jess and Luke to be a thing like they are in the comics, so they can eventually have their daughter who is cool in her own right.
That'd be pretty cool.
Plus, I mean, just more of Kristen Ritter is always fun. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that was Luke Cage season 2. Met and exceeded all of my expectations.
It did. It really did. It was really great.
Like, it set a new high bar for these Marvel Netflix show, and especially coming after, stuff like Defenders and stuff like Iron Fist, where it's like, oh no, was Daredevil and Jessica Jones, were those flukes? Were those flukes? Was this a bad idea? No, it wasn't a bad idea. They can still make good stuff happen, and they're figuring it out, and they're getting better.
They are, and it gives me hope for season 2 of Iron Fist, which I think is the next one.
I think so too.
Yeah, and I think that actually might be scheduled to come out later on this year, actually.
Yeah, because they're coming closer now.
Yeah, I figured we find something out at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, probably. Actually, hey, let's look at that now. Iron Fist season 2. Would Iron Fist come next, or would Daredevil come next?
Well, that's the thing. They both filmed at the same, filming at the same time. I think Jessica Jones is even filming at the same time. Punisher is.
That's right, because they already went back. They went back quickly on that one. New York until May 18th. The season is expected to be released in 2018 sometime, but no actual date for Iron Fist season 2.
Probably November or something.
And it's Daredevil season 3, right? Is the one we're thinking of. Which, I mean, they already cast Bullseye for that one, so maybe they're not nearly as far along in that one as they are the other ones.
I don't know. I think, like, what's his name? Vincent D'Onofrio said he wrapped filming, like, months ago. So
this
either he's in
says,
it not very long, or, like, the season finished super, super quickly.
That's true. This one also says expected for 2018.
Ooh, that'd be cool. Get 2 of them at once.
Oh, yeah, that would be some shit. As you can tell, the little dog I'm watching, Cooper, feels very strongly about Daredevil season 3.
Yeah, he wants it.
I know, Bullseye. I know it's gonna be cool, right, to see the villain Dutch. Oh, I know. Who's a good boy with strong feelings about comic book television? Yes, you are. Look, you're not getting a co-host credit, Cooper. Look, Matt already gets the co-host credit. I'm not adding you if we just hear your voice more. This dog is terrible. Like usually you get guard dogs who bark when something's important, or like, oh, someone's outside, or oh, a car is slowing down. He just barks at nothing.
He barks at the wind.
Barks at the wind, barks at that. He's scared of everything too. He's a little Sheltie dog. He's about the size of a loaf of bread and about as intimidating as one. He'll bark at other dogs, then hide behind my leg. And I'm allergic to him is the other thing.
Oh no.
I know. That's what I go through for a couple months. But yeah, on that note, everyone, I think we can start bringing this one down.
Yeah.
Not a massive show this week, but you got your spoiler cast, you got your news, and I'm sure next week will be even bigger when we catch up on what we read and everything.
Definitely.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for joining. We hope you enjoyed yourselves. I know I enjoyed myself.
I did as well.
And we'll be back again next time for more Comic Multiverse goodness. Of course, if you are a patron, you'll get to listen to this first before anyone else Sunday night, pretty much as soon as we're done, which is around 11-ish. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month. Helps me out, helps Matt out. I pay Matt out of that money. I keep the podcast up on SoundCloud out of that money. And again, if you haven't checked out any of those things, be sure to check that out. The podcast, the audio version, goes up on SoundCloud usually Thursday after it comes out on YouTube, so you can download the show and carry it around with you everywhere completely ad-free.
That's great. It's really cool.
It's pretty good, I tell you what. So anything else you want to talk about, Matt? Anything else you want to promote?
Not really, no.
All right on then. So thank you everyone for listening, and we will be back again next week. Bye-bye.